Hello, welcome to the Barbara Talks Business podcast. I'm Barbara Carr and I'm your host. I'm going to be talking today about organization. Now, I just want to give you a heads up that this is not the normal organization that you probably think of when you hear the term organization. And it is also probably not what other people have told you about organization. So I hope to allow you to see a new perspective on organization and to give you something to think about and to work towards. And so, as we start this topic, I want to remind you that it is National Self Improvement Month. We're in the month of September right now. And so, all of the topics that I'll focus on during the month of September will be self improvement topics. So, last week we talked about relationships. And I gave myself a challenge to build deeper relationships. So I want to share with you about a relationship that I did intentionally go deeper in this week because I promised with you guys that I would share my journey. And I'd love to hear what you've been working on over the past couple of days or even the past week to help yourself grow. So if you've not already shared that with me, please do. Let me know what it is that you're working on so that I could help be your cheerleader and cheer you on. And so let me tell you about the relationship that happened this week. And it was definitely a bit of a stepping outside of my comfort zone, but after it was over, I didn't really feel like it was awkward, like it was out of my comfort zone, even though it was at the time. And I didn't feel awkward at the time either or afterwards. It's just always before you jump out of your comfort zone, you think that it's going to be difficult or strange. But once you're there, it's easy to see, wow, this wasn't so bad. Why haven't I done this more often? And so actually this past week my husband and I went and visited some of his family, his grandfather, his dad, some of his cousins were there, aunts and uncles. And so we were visiting, and it was just a normal visit. We visit family pretty often. And so it was nothing out of the ordinary until I started talking to one of his cousins. And I have such a crazy, hectic life that I try not to put it on blast in front of his family yet because they come from such a good Christian background, and I've come from, well, kind of the opposite of that. And so sometimes I get real nervous about the things that I might say, not because they're judgmental by any means. It's just how I judge myself compared to others. And so I hadn't really shared a lot of my story with many of the members of his family. I mean, obviously his sister and his mom know me pretty well, and his sister-in-laws and stuff like that. But some of the extended family, I've not shared all my story. Well, come to find out that this particular cousin of my husband's actually has a similar story to me. And I didn't even know it until we started having the conversation right there in her mother's living room. And again, it was unprompted, but I was focused on trying to build stronger relationships. And so we got into talking first about our past and our children's fathers and what that looked like over the years. And we both have teenagers now. And so we talked about the journey. And then we got to talking about our walk with Jesus now. Now, she grew up in the church and I didn't. But we're both still have a similar story as far as how God has shown himself to us and the way that we've been able to walk through what God is doing in our lives. And so we started talking about prayer and about our husbands and how they play a role in our journey, and our children, how, even as teenagers, how they start to question their faith. And so it was a really great, deep conversation. Both of us shed a few tears. But then afterwards, I remember, as I told my husband, that I really enjoyed talking with his cousin, and that I had not talked that deeply really with any of his cousins yet, and that I really, really liked it. I thought to myself, yay, I went deeper in a relationship. Like, it was a real meaningful conversation. I didn't put my guard up like I normally do. And I shared vulnerable parts of my life with this woman. And she didn't judge me. She didn't condemn me, right? And not that I ever thought that she would or that anybody would. It was just my own fear. and I got out of my comfort zone and I started that relationship, and we've been texting since then. And not that we never texted before, but we're texting more often than we did before that. And so I'm very grateful, and I want to give the glory to God, of course, that he helped me to step out of that comfort zone and build a great godly relationship. Um, and then so let's talk about organization now. And I want to remind you that if you are watching this live, or even if you're watching the replay, if you're watching it live, let me know that you're here so that I can say hello to you. I do have the chat open, so I can mark. I could actually put your comment on the screen if it makes sense. And then if you're watching the replay, just write replay or give me some kind of notion that you are here so that I can see who's watching and who's paying attention and who I can cheerlead for and pray for. I understand some of you like to stay anonymous. That's okay too, but I really would love to know who's paying attention. All right, let's jump into organization. First thing you're probably thinking is, I need to organize my business. Again, I understand why you think that first, because this is called Barbara Talks Business. So we're going to go there first because it makes sense. So, organizing your business, what does that look like? Your computer files, your calendar, your desk, your office. It could look like a lot of different things. Maybe the procedures you have, the systems you have in place, the way that your team does things. So I'm not going to go into the how to organize in this video, but of course, if you're interested in that, you could reach out to me, and I'd love to have a private conversation with you. And I have been known to go to friends' homes and help them organize different parts of their life, all the way from their desk to their pantry to their brain. So we're going to talk about different levels of organization here on a level that will make you think so that you can act. And if you find this to be a topic that you want to work on during this month, let me know, and let me know how I can help you. So first, starting with organizing your business. Last week when I talked about your relationships, we discussed relationships on almost every level, right? Your business relationships, your personal relationships, including your marriage, your children, maybe some of the friends you have in your life. And then we even took it a step further and went, how's your relationship with yourself and with God? And I want to go do a similar thing with this topic, organization. So we'll start at the high level of your business, right? So you've got your business stuff that needs organizing. You might have a whole long list of things to organize in your business, and you should organize your business. But if I had to give you one main thing to focus on in organizing your business, I would tell you to start with your calendar. Declutter your calendar. I promise it will do so much more for you than any other place of organization in your business. To start off, obviously there's lots of places you can organize. Start with your calendar. Declutter that thing. We all have such a big long to-do list, and we book ourselves solid so much that half the time we don't even know when we're coming or going because we're so busy. So the first step to organizing your life in your business would be to start with your calendar. Don't be too overly busy, because then you're going to be overwhelmed. And an overwhelmed business owner is not good for anybody. Trust me, I know from experience. I have been on both sides of the coin, and I'd be lying if I said that I don't get overwhelmed ever, ever, ever anymore. I still have my days. Sometimes there are days in a row. But for the most part, I don't feel that overwhelmed because I don't allow myself to get there. Again, I do still have overwhelmed days and moments, but they're fewer and far further between because of the practices I've been putting in play. So organize your business, start with your calendar, and then the next best place you can organize in your business is your desk. Wherever you work, whether that is an office desk at a physical office, or a desk in your house, or even a table that is set up in your house that you work as a desk. And ladies and gentlemen, even if you're working at the dining room table, that is a place that needs to be organized on a regular basis. And so I'll share with you that I homeschool my two daughters. And so we homeschool at the dining room table because it's the place that makes the most sense. I do have my own office downstairs in our lower level. That's where I'm sitting here now. And so I've got my own office. We started homeschooling at my desk because it is big enough to do so. But then I realized how stressful it was to homeschool in the same place that I try to do business. I couldn't separate the two in my mind, and it was so stressful. So I started homeschooling at my dining room table. But then we went to the point where we didn't have dinner at the table anymore because it was always full of homeschooling stuff. So then I built the system to say, okay, here's our times of our classes. We have so many classes each day. And the last class at the end, it says clear table and set it for dinner. So now not only do we clear off all the homeschooling stuff off the table every single day after homeschooling is over, but we also set it for dinner that night. Now, we don't get to eat dinner as a family at the dining room table every single night because we are involved in a lot of things as a family in the evenings. So we only get to do that a few times a week, but we make it intentional to do so. And so wherever it is that you primarily work, make sure that that place is decluttered and organized, because it does a lot for your brain when there's not clutter everywhere. And so your office and your desk are two big places for your business. But I will also say that in a digital world, your computer hard drive is also an important place to organize and be decluttered. If that is cluttered and you can't find anything, it's going to make business more stressful and make everything that you do take a lot more time than it really needs to take. So I encourage you, if you're focused on your business, start with your office/desk, your calendar, and your computer files. Again, if you need help, give me a call. That's technically not something that I do as part of my business. I do that just because I enjoy it. People have paid me to help in those areas, but primarily if you're a friend, I'll likely come over just for a cup of coffee and maybe a dessert. All right, let's move on to the home. Thank you, Becky. I have a comment here. I'm going to show it on the screen. Becky says that she loves me, and I appreciate that. So, as you're watching, if you have something that you want to share, please put it in the chat. It also gives you free advertisement if you're a business owner, because at this time I will tell you that Becky actually is a Mary Kay representative, and she taught me a lot about how to wear makeup. In fact, I am wearing Mary Kay makeup as we speak. Oh, actually, this is a Mary Kay polish as well. It's a couple years old, so it's not the current trend. But so that's a perk of leaving a comment while I'm live, is I will give you a shout out. So thank you so much, Becky. I'm glad that you are watching, and I'm looking forward to knowing what you are working on during Self-Improvement Month. All right, let me hide that comment and then go to our next topic, which is the home. Let me put this back up so people know what we're talking about. Organizing your home. Oh, I am certain that when just saying that, you guys probably dread, oh, everything is everywhere. It's it's cluttered. It's like it would take me forever to organize my home. I disagree. With the right motivation and the right goals, you can organize your home in a manner that is quicker than you think, not overnight. That'd be a big fat lie to tell you that you could organize your whole house overnight and not be stressed out. So you could do it quicker than you think and with less stress if you have the right motivation and the right goals. And again, I'm not going to go into the how-tos of it right now because I'm trying to keep this video as close to 15 minutes as possible, and we're coming close to that already. So this one's likely going to 20 minutes, but I'll do my best to get done as quick as I can for you guys. So I want to share a little secret with you guys. I come from a background where I'm going to call it borderline hoarding, where it's like you save everything because you never know when you're going to need it. And so 10 years ago, well, shoot, probably 5 years ago even, I was borderline hoarder. No joke. Those of you who know me today are probably like, yeah, right, shut the front door, right? But I really was. I was borderline hoarder. And it took real determination and dedication to change my lifestyle. I had to actually change my mind and my heart in order to organize and declutter my home and my business. And it was not easy. It could have been a lot easier if I had somebody guiding me and leading me, but at the time I was figuring it out all on my own. And at the time, I unfortunately didn't have the Holy Spirit yet either. I do now, so everything's a lot easier and a lot quicker these days. But during that time, I did not have that. I was seriously borderline hoarder. When I moved from my last home to my current home, it was an interesting journey of what can I take, what should I take, and I got rid of probably 90 to 95% of everything I owned and almost started from scratch, very close to scratch. I mean, I brought the kids and the dog with, obviously, um, but almost everything I have in my house now today was not a thing 5 years ago, or there was so much other things. And so I've organized in a way that everything matches now. I've got organizational totes and the organizational storage, like trays that you could put in cabinets and in the refrigerator and stuff. I have those all now. I'm working on getting the garage, everything into totes. We're not quite there yet because the garage is not really my domain, but we're getting there next. Um, and then and so like in everything, like everything's labeled. All my friends tease me and joke about it, but I'm telling you, life is so much easier and less stressful now that it's been organized. So throughout the week, I'll post some pictures of some of my organizational stuff that I do, just to kind of give you guys some inspiration and some ideas. But even before you guys organize your home or your business, I would recommend doing some inner work, because the reason my transformation took so long and was so stressful was because I was doing it in my own strength and I was figuring it out on my own. And I was working on exterior things. I was trying to, things I could see is what I was trying to fix first. But really, it needs to be the things you can't see, the intangible things, what's in your mind and what's in your heart. Those are where the biggest changes happen. Once I learned that, it was a game changer. So I had to first change the way I thought about things, the way that I saw how things were happening, my perspective on the world and on business and on my home life and on my house. Like, I had to change that mindset. I had to change from the hoarder mindset of I need to keep everything because you never know when you might need it, to the mindset of I don't need these things to be here all the time, because God will always take care of my needs. And so I don't need to have 45 extra chargers for my phone. That's ridiculous. And I say that as a joke, but you guys, I had a whole drawer full of chargers. Most of them phone chargers, most of them for the exact same phone, some of them for phones that didn't even exist anymore, that you probably can't even buy anymore. It was awful. I don't need all those. Now, am I saying it's bad to have an extra charger or two? No, of course not. As long as there's a reason for it. So I have an extra charger in my computer bag, just in case I forget to bring my computer charger with me, or if I just don't want to, because my primary charger that sits at my desk is actually it's behind a bunch of stuff on the wall, and to unplug that is very inconvenient. So I rarely ever unplug that. It stays in the same spot. I have a computer charger that is in my computer case, so everywhere I go it's there. And then I have a computer charger that I leave stationary in the house. So sometimes it's plugged in the living room, sometimes it's plugged in the bedroom. Wherever I'm working that's not at my desk, I like to have a charger there. And so it's stationary, but it's also kind of my emergency charger if one of these ones break, or if any one breaks, I have an emergency third one. Same thing with my phone. I have one next to my bed. I have one next to my computer here at my office, and I have one in my computer bag. Technically, I have a fourth computer charger too in my overnight bag, like my toothbrush bag. My every time I take an extra toothbrush, I also have an extra charger, so I don't have to take that one everywhere I go or accidentally forget it. And I have one in my car. So I guess I have 5 phone chargers, but my phone goes with me everywhere. So, and it has a purpose everywhere. It's not just a drawer full of extra chargers. So that's just an example, and I'm going way off on a tangent. What I'm trying to say is you have to change your mindset. Figure out what is stuck in your mind, what limiting beliefs you have, what lies you've been telling yourself or that other people have been telling you, and figure out how to change that mindset. And then you really have to do some work in your heart. There were things I had kept for decades because they were sentimental. But then some of those things I couldn't even remember why I had them. So really, how sentimental were they? Or I kept them because they were passed down from generation to generation. And I'm not saying there's no value in that. I'm just saying that it really wasn't valuable to me. And so there were some things that I got rid of that were passed down from generation to generation. And oftentimes I would, call my mom or my sister and say, hey, I know this is part of our family stuff. I don't want it. Do you want it before I give it to Goodwill? So I checked with people who it might have been sentimental to before getting rid of it. I hardly keep any sentimental anything because I feel like that's in my heart and in my brain. I have the memories and I have the experiences in my heart. I'm not saying I don't value pictures or anything like that. Like each of my kids have a tote that has their name on it, and I'll put pictures of that on Facebook. But they each have a tote that has their name on it that has anything that is sentimental regarding that kid. So pictures, graduation stuff, trophies, different things like that they might want to have when they get older, or that I might want to keep as they move out of my house. But again, it's one tote per kid. And then I have a tote as well for my husband and I. But and then some miscellaneous stuff for, friends and family and whatnot. But for the most part, I don't keep very many sentimental things. Um, that might be because I'm still working on my heart. I know I've got quite a hardened heart still that God's working on softening, because I've been through a lot of things, and that's not an excuse. But when people buy me like knickknacks and stuff, I feel so bad because I don't keep it very long. It's not sentimental to me. I will remember that you gave it to me, but I likely will not keep it for more than a year. But somebody else will get to enjoy it at some point because I would give it to, places like Goodwill, Salvation Army, or mom and pop shops that are resale shops. I try to reuse those, they repurpose them to other people that might find them valuable. And so don't buy me things like that. I love you when you do, but I just don't keep them for very long. Books I keep for a long time because that's my wheelhouse. But I will tell you, even when I got rid of a bunch of stuff, like I said, 95% probably, I went from having, I think I had 11 or 12 bookshelves. No joke. I had a whole library in my previous house. 11 or 12 bookshelves, I'm down to 3. Now, 3 of those are pretty full. All 3 of them, they're full. Sometimes I'm stacking whatever, but I do get rid of books, and now my husband's collecting books too. So, but books I do love. And if I just want to throw out a reminder because I'm about to finish up here. If you're watching this, please say hello. I'd love to give you a shout out. I'd love to tell the world how much I adore you as well. So if you're watching it live, please let me know. And if you're watching the replay, just put something in the chat there and let me know. And so clear your mind and your heart as early as you can. Organize and declutter those areas first. It will help when you go to organize your home and your business. It will help that process be quicker, less stressful, and actually a lot more enjoyable. Because today I'm still organizing my life. Even today, I've got so much organized, but if you're trying to buy me something, it's like a basket or something. I love baskets. I love totes, because I love organizing still. And I'm always looking for new things to, put in its place. And so I would say if you get to the point where you think your whole life is organized, I want to say props to you. Give me a call. I want to hang out with you. If you're one of those people who is an organizational freak or a do-it-yourself freak, you like organizing. I should not use the word freak. Some people think that's bad. Because it depends how you use it. I'm off on a tangent and I'm at 24 minutes. So I'm going to close up here. I'm going to close by saying that just like working on ourselves and improving ourselves, I don't know that we ever will be done organizing our lives, because just when you think that you've got it all figured out, life changes, right? Another child comes, or you move homes and then you got to change everything there. Or, who knows what could happen. Life always happens. So I would urge you to never think that you're fully done organizing or fully done growing, because I think there's always room for that in this fast-paced, ever-changing world. So I love you all that are watching. Like, legitimately, I am so grateful for those people who do spend time to listen to me talk and share my story and sometimes rant. And I truly appreciate all of you. And I look forward to growing with you and continuing to share my story and my journey and getting to know each of you. And so if there's any way I could help, just message me on Facebook. I'm not going to put my phone number out there just in case who knows where this video might go. Message me on Facebook, and I'll talk to you next week. And remember, Barbara Talks Business is live every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Have a great day. I will see you next week.